Yo, everybody, welcome back. Glaziar Gamble Podcast, episode 46, Marvel section. This is not going to go over Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. That'll be either its own episode that we'll release our own spoiler-free review for, or we'll do it next week. This week is Moon Knight's finale. We're going to go over it, react to it, talk about it, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. 42 minutes, short episode. Probably it is the shortest episode or shortest finale in any Marvel series yet. Just to go through it quickly, probably the second or third best, depending on how you feel about the other shows. For us, it was the second or third best finale of any show yet. Not as good as Loki, and there's a gap. Yeah. Loki is still far and away the best finale of the shows.
Yeah.
And then I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision are slightly below Moon Knight. I still like Moon Knight a little better, just like what you said. And then it would be probably a huge gap. And then What If?
Yeah.
Did I miss one? I feel like
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Yeah. So Hawkeye, if they would have broken up into 2 episodes to give more details into the Echo storyline, I think that would have been up there, higher than probably higher than WandaVision. But because of that just kind of was upsetting. Felt like it was too short. What If was easily the worst one because they made it very obvious the show was about Supreme Strange. There was no other reason. Gamora was there for no reason. They proved
I've got this thing that can crush Infinity Stones. Oh, nice. Except it doesn't work. Yeah.
They moved somebody from their timeline to another multiverse timeline, which they've made clear should not happen. So just they made it obvious they will bring whoever they want to, however it works, however they feel like it. They could bring Tony Stark's Iron Man back. It's
not canon either. Like it's not canon yet, at least. Right. So there's no, you can't like judge it almost as like.
It was a good show, but it was, it wasn't anywhere near what these other shows are.
Yeah.
WandaVision had a little bit to desire, but it was very good. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that costume reveal for Captain Falcon.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Loki, and then there's a big gap.
There's a big gap.
And then Moon Knight, maybe small gap, and then you could say that Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Hawkeye are all kind of in the same
little tier,
same
like
realm.
S tier, A tier, B tier, F tier,
C tier, D tier. What If?
Yep. I think that's fair. Loki 100% would be S tier, but A tier, Moon Knight.
I think
B-tier,
What If is like the thing about What If is that it would be really good, except it's not like I don't get to just see like oh well I want to see what if what if the other half got snapped, for instance, like, and that may be a season 2 thing. I think they were talking about that, but it's like I don't get the questions that like I ask. What if this happened? It's all like, oh, Marvel's gonna decide what if
for us.
These random stories happen that not necessarily I don't care about, so
right, just kind of like, oh, this is like a niche story that you might enjoy, but it has no effect on anything else.
Like I would want to see what if Cap and Bucky were together,
I'd want to see that. What if Cap just absolutely annihilated Bucky from behind? Like I would love to see that.
Right.
What if Winter Soldier used his vibranium fist? Anyway, so sorry, it's mind wandering there. Let's get into the Moon Knight finale. Again, short, but like we expected, Amit was resurrected. We got to see some souls being sent early. Amit was pretty sick looking.
But giant kaiju battle that nobody could see. So
we found out that breaking the statue is what releases them. I also was clearly confused because I thought Layla had the statue, not Mark.
Yeah.
So when Harrow took it from Mark's dead body, I was like, wait, I thought he gave that to Layla?
Yeah.
Isn't she supposed to have it?
I don't know. Yeah.
I really thought she had it. So when that happened, I was like, I had to pause and think. Like I thought, and then I just went.
So maybe Steven was like, we found it. And then she's like, Mark, did you kill my father? Like maybe it didn't happen because maybe it didn't.
Maybe.
It seemed like Steven was gonna give it to her, but
Sure, that makes more sense. I thought Mark gave it to her when he said to run and get out of here
Right.
because Hera was coming.
yeah.
Clearly I was wrong, or it was an editing mistake. Either way, they figured it out in the end. They had that, they had the scene where Mark left the Field of Reeds. The way Taweret said it means he can never go into the afterlife again.
Yeah, you can't come back or something like
So
that.
when Mark dies, he immediately is going to go into the sands.
But Osiris is gone because they killed the human avatar of him so I don't know if Osiris is going to be running the sands anymore. So I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
what
what's
Marvel's
gonna
shown us is your belief system is
It's different.
right will
Right.
determine your afterlife. So maybe as time goes on, he'll think of his own afterlife and
Yeah.
go back into that field. Well, we don't know. Obviously, that's something we don't have to speculate, but that was something I thought was intense. It's a very a common trope that we've seen in other. If you've read any book, you've seen a lot of other movies, sacrificing eternal life to save a loved one. This is just the first time I've seen it where you're basically saving yourself.
Yeah.
You saved an alternative.
Yeah,
alternate
because
personality.
Stephen Grant, when he got thrown into the sand, his heart disintegrated as he froze. But then Mark turned around from the Field of Reeds and took his heart and essentially gave it to Stephen, and they became one. So
And now
out
they
of it.
transition in between each other fluently.
yeah.
There's no there's
Right.
nothing. There's no it's not
there
like
is, but more on that later.
yeah. There's just a quick transition between it.
Yeah.
So outside of the accent might start confusing some fans, especially the ones so Moon Knight shows up elsewhere. Anybody that didn't watch the show might be a bit confused.
Yeah. Especially if it just randomly goes from Moon Knight to Mr. Knight too.
Right. Could be confused. Why does he have an accent? Wait, why is it okay? Yeah, so now that there's no obvious transition, that makes it very clear you needed to watch this show. But yeah, I like that they kind of get along. I'm interested to see how the relationship with Layla moves forward, because she'll basically be dating two people in one. Obviously there's more than two. But how are they going to handle intercourse? I'll just flat out say it.
Sex.
Yeah, are they gonna
Like
Mark
switch
gets his
back and
turn and
forth?
then Steven gets his turn, and they finish and then they switch and they're like, all right, now it's Steven's turn. What I don't know. I'm interested. It's like that. I'm messed up in the head. I'm messed up. All right. That was the first thought I had when the episode was over. Was how do they have sex now that they're 2 and 1?
Could you imagine? And the weird thing is if Mark's is going to town, right? And then Steven's like, oh my god, I enjoy this too. Like in his mind, and he's like, stop.
Right. Stop talking to me, Steven. And
Layla,
right,
what's he saying?
Right. Or, Steven says something like, oh, I've never tried that. Oh, good idea, Mark. It just, you're doing great. I just, so yeah, I'll admit it. I'm a little bit messed up.
And then all of a sudden,
genuine, my first thought process, man. But yeah, so we got to see Khonshu released as well. Layla released Khonshu, refused to be his avatar, which was awesome and expected.
Yeah.
And then she becomes Taweret's avatar, where she becomes the Scarlet Scarab.
Yeah.
Completely different look compared to the comics.
Yeah, a lot of foreshadowing in regards to the whole Scarab in general. Her dad giving her that, her dad calling her the little Scarab.
She used it to follow Harrow as well.
Yeah, Khonshu always was like, you could be my avatar, little bug, or something like that. So it was like
called her. Yeah, her dad's nickname for her was Little Bug. So Khonshu called her Little Bug. Harrow at one point called her Little Bug.
Yeah.
So there was foreshadowing in the comics. Scarlet Scarab was male.
It was like a villain too.
Yeah, and villain and bright red and bug looking.
Yeah.
While she had wings and it was bright golden armor.
Yeah.
Her version I love. First of all, throughout. We've had multiple episodes of the show. Probably will pop up at some point. Feel free to watch those ones. We've broken it down. Mentioned basically every time. Like I said, my issue with the semifinal was we saw no Layla. The reason I loved episode 4 was she has shocked me at how good she is.
Oh, yeah,
both acting wise, the character.
The whole Towerette like in her head too was awesome.
Yep,
awesome.
I love that scene as well. She stole the show. So Moon Knight was one of my favorite heroes, and she stole the show, both acting wise, her character, just.
Shout out to the
Moon Knight expecting to like find a new character I really like, and she just blew me away.
Yeah, shout out to the couple of actors or actresses that Towerette spoke through, because they did hilarious too.
They're like the dead cop.
Yeah.
Layla's me, Towerette. Yeah, that was good.
Mark's dead. I'm talking to you for a dead person.
Well, I'm talking to you, dead person. So it was, they did that was a perfect amount of comedy for an intense scene where they were showing the build-up of Amit and Harrow and that sort of thing. It was a very intense scene that they were able to break up smoothly with, and shout out to Towerette. This is the woman who voiced her. This is her first like major role. She did a phenomenal job. And so the battle between Moon Knight and Harrow and Khonshu and Amit is where the episode was supposed to rise to a climax, where it kind of just slowly increased, kind of fell off. If anything, the credit scene was more of a awesome moment or like booming moment than the final scene, which isn't what you're looking for in a battle scene.
It could have been a lot longer. It obviously could have been a lot longer, and like there was a lot of cool like little parts to it. I wish it would have been like when Amit was kicking the shit out of Khonshu. That's when Harrow was kicking the shit out of Moon Knight, but that's how I thought it was gonna go. But then it kind of didn't like mash up because Khonshu just got his ass kicked the whole time.
Right. Until the end. Which was the whole point, is Khonshu said he can't beat her by himself. But I really wish they didn't grow. Like, I would have loved if they stayed, like if they grew but not to gigantic
like
size.
Kaiju size.
Yeah, because they easily could have done like a fast battle, like slow moving.
Yeah, Godzilla.
It's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, at least when Godzilla fights Kong, that sort of thing, they're not moving what looks like in slow motion. They actually have like combat moves.
Right.
These two were like, oh, here comes her tail or her hair.
Right.
Boom. Like at one point, Khonshu was tripped, and I didn't know how he got tripped. It was just, that scene was poorly executed. The CGI, a lot of people were ripping on CGI for both the Moon Knight costume in this episode and because of the Kaiju fight, but I thought they did a great job on the costume, especially.
Yeah, I thought the fight scene of them like transitioning mid-fight was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Like Mr. Knight throwing a baton and then it like bouncing off and ricocheting, and then Moon Knight catching it, like
right,
Mark
and
catching
being
it.
The lunar one,
the
lunar disc or whatever it is. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I thought it was interesting how Harrow was so powerful.
Right.
Even though, Khonshu and Amit were doing their own thing. So it was interesting to me that Harrow was so much more powerful than both Layla and Mark combined.
Sure.
I thought that was interesting, considering they said as long as they have more than one, Amit should be beatable.
Right.
But Harrow was
maybe because they got the souls, then that's why Amit was so strong.
Yeah, maybe
because of the souls.
And with Amit defeated, there's no way those souls come back.
Right.
Like, all those people are still dead, and that was like an entire. They said that was happening all over the world.
Yeah.
Not just Egypt. They said followers of Amit judge everywhere.
All over the world. Yeah. Yeah. So unless they got the communication out to those people around the world rather than just that area.
How far did it reach? Because I don't think it reached that far.
Right.
Like, if anything, it probably reached slightly outside of Egypt, because otherwise we would have kept seeing the souls come in.
Yeah, and I'm sure if Amit got powerful enough, it would expand to the whole world. But
we
I'm
also
guessing
saw when Moon Knight and Layla, when Scarlet Scarab and Moon Knight both showed up, they stopped judging people.
right,
So souls stopped coming in.
right.
So I don't think it went too far, but it is kind of a why didn't it keep expanding? Why didn't more people start sending in souls?
Right.
Kind of maybe a plot hole, maybe just I don't know, maybe they just weren't doing. They were gonna slowly expand over the world. Just didn't seem to mesh up when I was
Right,
watching.
and maybe
I was
the
like, there should be
stronger Amit
consistent
got-
souls.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think Khonshu could necessarily change the sky across the whole planet, rather than just this area. So the fact that maybe it was just like the stronger Amit got, the more room she could, or the more like physical land she could judge. And so the fact that the souls stopped coming in, it kind of gave like a radius as how far she could judge. So maybe it wasn't the whole world because she wasn't that strong, because there wasn't more souls coming in. Maybe that's how I see it.
One thing we did see was we don't know what Layla's doing right now.
Right.
Because after they do end up imprisoning Harrow or Amit inside of Harrow's body at the end together, we didn't see if she still had Taweret.
Yeah.
We didn't see if she left. We didn't see, because all we saw was Mark and Steven decide, this is great, and we're still gonna try to save the world in this weird what we thought was supposed to be the afterlife, and yet they were still in a psych ward.
Right.
And Harrow was bleeding. That was a little bit confusing to me.
Yeah, it was like how I saw it was like, this is like the conscious, I guess. So like you've got Harrow, who's still like struggling with the Amit fact, and so that's why you see him bleed, is because like now he's starting to question it almost.
Sure.
Whereas like Mark and Steven got the grip on things, and so they're like, this isn't, why am I here? And then he's like, later's gators, and then
they
backs
save
out.
the world, wake up inside of Steven's apartment, and again, we don't know where Layla is. So
Yeah.
my guess is she still has Taweret in her, and she's still Taweret's avatar.
I'd assume that she would go like free Taweret, and then maybe some of the other ones if she was like, because I'm assuming they're not all good.
Well, the Temple of the Gods or wherever they were crumbled.
So they probably broke anyway.
They either broke or they are now
Powerless.
They would have to be dug out and then
Right.
broken.
Right.
So I'm not sure what happened there. That I think that there's a good chance they broke, but I don't think that might be something we see Marvel expand on in a future season.
Right. Maybe a
Because
Scarlet
they
Scarab
switched it from series
series
finale
this
to
season,
season
yeah.
finale.
Yeah.
So there's most likely a second season. That's something that maybe they'll focus on in the future. Like maybe each of the gods has escaped. Most of them are bad versus good, because that's why they were locked away. So maybe the season 2 is about, gathering the gods, trying to
Sure.
figure out what avatars they took over, that sort of thing. Because
Sure.
they made it clear they have to have an avatar to survive on Earth.
Right. Right.
So not sure what they'll do. That's probably a season 2 thing. That's also probably where we'll find out what's going on with Layla. That's my big thing, is I really would have liked a little bit of like tie that knot. We said we don't know how they're going to tie all the knots. They did not tie the knot with Layla. We don't know if she's still with Mark and Steven and Jake.
Right.
We don't know if she's still Scarlet Scarab. We just have to assume and look forward to the next season. Harrow we know is dead though, because Harrow was in his own like little mental hospital consciousness area, and this was the credit scene.
Yeah.
He's
He's sitting down, he looks in the cup and it's full of sand, and he like spills it, but then it's coffee or something like that.
Yep.
And then the nurse is like, oh, time to go to bed or whatever, and then someone's like, I'll take him. Or
and he's got gloves.
he loves a
long
leather
suit.
jacket, and then he puts his hand up to her face. I don't know if he I'll take this or something. He could be the smooth talker. That's why there was the date in episode 1 or whatever.
Right. Yep.
Could be a smooth doctor.
Or just horny as hell.
yeah. Or Khonshu is. Who knows?
Right. Maybe just horny and bloodthirsty. It's just a weird combination, but
is it?
No. But yeah, so then we see this person pushing him, and he doesn't know where he's going. Harry all of a sudden starts questioning where he's being taken because he doesn't get brought to his room.
Yeah. He walks past, and there's an orderly, like, dead.
There's a dead orderly.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he gets taken outside and put into a
like limo
type of thing. And in the back of the limo is Khonshu, and Harrow laughs because they kind of like, whatever, like who'd you get? And then Khonshu says that he really thought that Mark and Steven really thought they wanted Layla, when why would I want him when I have the perfect host?
Yeah.
When he doesn't understand just how truly troubled he is. And he goes, let me introduce you to my friend Jake Lockley. And he opens the door, and it's Oscar Isaac speaking Spanish. Jake Lockley is apparently Spanish.
He was very fluent in Espanol.
Yeah. And then he shoots Harrow a whole bunch of times with a silenced pistol.
Yeah.
Kills Harrow, which is what Moon Knight asked Mark and Steven to do, and they refuse to kill. But Jake has no issues killing, and Jake's actually a much better killer than Mark.
Yeah.
That's not how it is in the comics. Little bit different. And he's driving a limo that the license plate is Spectre. So is Mark still the rich one? Seems like it.
Yeah.
But why would Mark have the limo? Because he's not like the billionaire playboy.
Right.
It's just, a little bit of like muddled.
Yeah, they're changing it a little bit.
They're changing it a bit. But Jake was cool. Jake was a fun reveal. We all knew it was going to be a reveal, just wasn't the reveal we expected.
Yeah.
And Jake just kills Harrow. There was no other Marvel characters brought in. No Blade. No. That was
we need to see
the typical.
But
Marvel
here's the thing.
Theorizing.
One of the production people said that they were going to do 2 different cameos. They were going to do one in the first episode and one in the credit scene. So they said they were going to do 2 MCU cameos, but they decided against it. So we could have been right.
Don't tell us that. Sorry, guys.
Right.
If you're not going to do it, don't tell us because, I was going to give Joe $1,000 today, but decided not to.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's great. I could have been $1,000 richer, but I'm not.
Right.
But it's just one of, like, if you're going to do it, do it. Because saying you were going to do it, it's more of a disappointing thing than it is exciting.
Sure.
That was a good credit scene, but that scene itself was expected.
Yeah.
Once we didn't see the reveal, we knew Jake hadn't shown up yet. We just knew that he killed Harrow and everybody around, and then Layla had no idea what was happening. She even asked Mark, like, what the hell was that? And he goes, I don't know, I blacked out.
There was like burning around, like there's like things were on fire. There was electronics like not working in the background. Like the whole zone was just destroyed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like Moon Knight season 2, I need to see what Jake Lockley's costume looks like because it's got to be something crazy.
It makes me feel like Jake's costume is the one that is bright white and intense, and that's where he probably has the giant like stick pole, whatever.
Yeah, there was a in the post-credit scene, there's just a glimpse of like a mummification mask, and it looks like there's like 2 like bandages crossing, but then the eyes are exposed. And so that's what everyone's like, but did they like that could be what it is? It's just kind of like like not a hood, but it's like the eyes are exposed.
In the credit scene, Khonshu was dressed in like a suit.
Yeah, he was like dapped up.
Super bright white.
Yeah.
So and that's when Jake was out front.
Sure.
So that's why I think Jake is the super bright comic book suit.
Right.
Who has access, like full access to Khonshu powers.
Sure.
That would be my guess. That would be my little assumption. Mark's is a little torn and tattered because that's kind of who he is as a person.
Right.
Jake's, dressy and because he's just that's improper.
Oh, Steven, you mean?
Sorry, yeah. Steven is just like proper and dapper, like him.
Yeah.
And then Jake is decked out to the max. I am going to completely abuse everybody around me at full power.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So that would be my guess. I still want to see, like I said, where Layla goes. We didn't. So we got Harrow's loose end tied up. All those souls are dead still. We didn't get the other Egyptian gods tied up.
Sure.
And we didn't fully get. Yeah, we didn't get Layla tied up. I'm interested to see where they go from it. If it's going to be season 2, if they're going to move into another show, another movie. I don't know what they're going to do. But I very much enjoyed this show. Loki still my best, best one by far. I don't know if they put in the most work, if it was just the highest amount of value in production and actors, or what was the deal there, or if it was the fact that it was like the introduction of all these different versions and things that
I know what it was.
Tons of Easter eggs in Loki too.
I know what it was. Why Loki was so much exceptionally better than
Majors.
No, Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had a good amount of actors. They had.
They got Lady Sif to come back.
Yeah. See, and then they had Easter eggs.
They got Lady Sif to come back and say that she wasn't blipped because the Loki thing happened in the difference in the Thanos snap or whatever. So
they had Frog Thor. They have the giant wasp helmet. They
had a living tribunal head.
They had Thanos so many. I think that's a big reason why Loki was so much more loved. Plus, Jonathan Majors just
the glorious purpose,
that was sick.
Yeah,
yeah. Both shows had somebody steal the show when you didn't necessarily expect it. Jonathan Majors stole the show when once he shows up, the show jumps to a whole nother level. Once they start letting Layla not become a side character, Moon Knight jumped. It was just.
And speaking of Jonathan Majors, and that Loki scene, Kevin Feige at the red carpet for Multiverse of Madness said that is where the multiverse started, was right there when He Who Remains died.
Yeah, because they've explained that.
Yeah, but because the branches can't get tied back to the original timeline anymore. So
yeah, yep. So because and that's what He Who Remains was so excited about, because he didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. So fun.
He who remains, he who was confused.
Yeah.
He who was excited. Yeah. Either way though, Moon Knight probably the second best series though after Loki. Depending on what you like. If you are into story versus action, that's what I'm going by my rankings wise, which is why I would put WandaVision slightly above Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right. Yeah,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was great if you loved political messages.
Yeah.
If you loved powerful speeches, and Anthony Mackie also was just phenomenal.
The costumes, even just the Moon Knight, the costumes, this whole phase, have been insane.
Which is what I wanted this whole time.
Yeah, just insane. The Scarlet Scarab looked nothing like it was in the comics, and it looks great.
So good. Looks
cool.
So good. Her reveal, as soon as they said that she was going to be the Avatar, I was like, what's going to be? And then she was revealed, and I was like, yes. I liked this episode a lot, though. It was, left a little bit to desire. They could not just like everybody thought, they could not tie up all the loose ends.
Yeah, everyone from MCU projects going forward, just give us 2 more episodes. Mm-hmm. Just on anything. Instead of 6 episodes, make it 8. It'll be everything will be better.
100%.
Guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it. Remaining time 9 minutes and 55 seconds. I get a thing too.
Yeah.
Look at
that. So that'll be it for our Moon Knight finale review. Hope anybody who saw it enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought about the finale. Let us know what you thought about the kaiju scene. Did you like it? Was it boring? Did it ruin the episode for you? Yeah, it was just much too slow. How is that exciting or fun to watch? It's not. What did you think about Harrow, Amit? Do you want to see other Egyptians gods revealed? What do you expect for season 2 of Moon Knight? Do you think Moon Knight and Layla will show up in other projects? Let us know all that and all what you think. We will have Multiverse of Madness most likely either its own episode, its own little video on our YouTube channel, which is Glaziar Gamble, or it'll be next week's topic. Maybe both. We'll see. We will see you in those episodes, though, just like we saw you in this one. You all look great today. GG.
GG.